Are you a PhD, postdoc, or MD interested in transitioning into management consulting? Apply to Link to L.E.K by March 12th, 2023. What is Link to L.E.K? Well, it's an opportunity for advanced degree students to get to know L.E.K and the type of strategy consulting work the firm does through a virtual 2-day program. During the program, you'll network with L.E.K consultants and participate in a simulated strategy case modeled after the work done by L.E.K's life sciences team. But the best part of the program, you will receive the opportunity to an early interview for a full-time role with the firm ahead of the general recruiting cycle. Again, the program is open to current PhD, postdoc, or MD students interested in life sciences strategy consulting, ideally with a target graduation in 2024. So again, apply by March 12th. Click the link in the show notes or visit lek.com today to submit your application. Hey, Strategy Simplified. Today, I'm excited to share with you about the power of recruiting early for consulting through what we've termed early recruiting programs. Let me quickly explain. Top consulting firms continue to expand their talent pipelines to capture more candidates from underrepresented backgrounds. One way that firms execute these hiring initiatives is through hosting exclusive programs for specific student groups prior to the traditional recruiting season. These programs are highly competitive and for good reason. If you're accepted, you dramatically increase your odds of later receiving an offer to join the firm in an intern or full-time capacity. Today, I'll be sharing an overview of these programs, who they're for, application timelines, and how to stand out in your applications. Let's get started. So in this episode, I'm going to cover 4 major candidate groups, quickly walking through them. The first category is advanced degree candidates. The second is freshmen and sophomore candidates from underrepresented groups. The third is non-U.S. candidates. The fourth and final group is incoming MBA first years, also known as pre-MBAs. Applications open and close in the spring for many of these programs. Click the links in the show notes for articles that we've written about each category to learn about eligibility, application deadlines, and more. And before we get started with these programs, let me say that it is Management Consultant's recommendation that if you are eligible for any of these programs and your goal is to get into consulting, then we recommend that you apply. There's no reason not to. If accepted, you get a leg up on your competition for those consulting roles and you boost your odds of eventually landing an offer. Okay, the first category is the advanced degree candidate category. These are programs, we call them bridge programs. They are for PhDs, postdocs, MD, JD, and more, even including some professors. Right now, there are 5 firms that run these bridge programs: McKinsey, BCG, Bain, L.E.K, and Clearview. We just did an episode on these, Season 9, Episode 18. So go back, listen to that for more details. Applications for these programs are typically due between the end of February and the middle of March. So you don't have a whole lot of time if you are planning to apply. But again, these are great 1 to 5 day mini internships where you get a sense of the firm, you get to do some networking with people inside the firm, and you get a chance to interview for a full-time role if you're accepted to these firms. They are highly competitive. So to give yourself the best shot, work with the expert resume editing team at Management Consultant to prepare your resume and cover letter for these applications. There's a link in the show notes to learn more. All right, moving on to diversity internships. These are generally for freshmen and sophomores from underrepresented groups. And there's a lot of firms, mainly MBB and Big Four, that put these on, but there are over 10 programs for these candidates. Now, let me quickly dive into this category. These programs differ drastically in the format. Some are 2 days, some are a week, some are up to 10 weeks, some are programs. Some are virtual, and then a few are going to be in person. Some offer more passive lecture-type learning. Others are more active. Well, you'll be networking, working in case teams, and more. But almost all, if accepted into these programs, will let you interview to return the following year, whether that's in an internship or a full-time role, depending on the program and depending on your graduation year. There are simply too many programs for me to go down the list and name them all, but McKinsey, BCG, Bain, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, Accenture, and EY are a few of the firms that offer these programs. We've written articles that detail everything you need to know. Click the link in the show notes to learn more, to see if you're eligible, to learn more about each program, and to apply today. If you have any questions about these programs, if you're eligible, how to stand out, email us podcast@managementconsulted.com with all your questions, and we'll answer them as best as we can. We'll be right back after this quick break. Are you looking to see if consulting is right for you without going through the rigorous recruiting process? Then check out Strategy Sprint, the one-week virtual consulting project coming up May 22nd through the 26th. Not only does this program allow you to test drive the consulting experience to see if it's a good fit for you, but you also build strategy and analytics skills and add real-world consulting experience to your resume. In the program, you're staffed as a consultant in a team of 6 led by an MBB consultant to solve a real-world strategy problem for an actual client. Not only does the experience look great on your resume, but our resume editing team will even help you incorporate the experience onto your resume. Registration for Strategy Sprint is open, and the price will increase $200 on March 1st. So make sure to apply and secure your spot before February 28th to lock in your seat at the lower rate. Again, the next Strategy Sprint program happens May 22nd through the 26th, 2023. Learn more and apply through the link in the show notes. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, the next group here is for non-U.S. candidates. So a lot of these programs are geared to folks in the U.S. and Canada, but firms are starting to roll out programs to reach folks in other parts of the world, namely Europe, EMEA, and APAC. Just to quickly name a few of the programs in this category: Bain's Access to APAC program, McKinsey's Next Generation Women Leaders program, they run that in APAC and EMEA. And then McKinsey runs Diversity Connect in Europe. There are more. Again, click the link in the show notes to learn more about each of these programs. Again, these are great opportunities to get your name, your face in front of the firms, to get that face time, get those networking experiences, to learn about the culture of the work, and increase your chances of breaking in at a later time. All right, the final candidate for incoming first-year MBAs. Note, this is for first years only, so you're starting the fall of 2023. These are not open for second-year MBAs. These pre-MBA programs are offered by consulting firms so that they can identify and get access to top talent early. In exchange, participants receive valuable branding, exposure, and the potential for a full-time offer. These programs are open to candidates from a limited number of universities. So if your school is not on the list, you simply won't be able to apply. These pre-MBA programs are generally a lighter blend of education, experience, and networking opportunities throughout several weeks in the summer. And a couple of firms that do these: Bain, McKinsey, BCG, and then a few top boutiques: Deloitte, Accenture, Kearney, L.E.K, and others. Now, the main requirement for getting into these pre-MBA programs is your school. Okay, now that I've shared about each of these categories, let me quickly share a few tips to stand out in your applications. So I'm talking about your resume. All right, number 1, highlight your transferable skills. Consulting firms look for a number of skills, including research, analysis, presentation, leadership, communication, teamwork, stakeholder management, and the list goes on. So go through your resume and ask yourself, am I highlighting these skills on my resume? And if you don't have those skills yet, then you might need to go out and build that experience, whether that's through an internship, a pro bono consulting project, or a mini internship program like our Strategy Sprint program. It's a 1-week virtual consulting project. You're staffed in a team of 6, mentored by an MBB consultant, and working for a real-world client to solve a strategy or growth-oriented problem. Link in the show notes to learn more about that. All right, second resume tip: show your impact. Consulting firms hire top performers, folks that have driven impact in each of their roles whether that's in school, whether that's in their leadership experience, whether that's in their professional experience. They want to see that the work you've done has translated to real world results and outcomes. Here's a pro tip: use metrics, use numbers. Consultants think in numbers, and it helps break up your resume, make it readable. All right, the third and final tip for your resume for standing out in these applications: include a personal section. That section can include a line for skills, meaning technical programs or softwares that you use, think Excel, PowerPoint, Tableau, Python, etc. You can include a line for languages if you know any language other than English. Lastly, you should include an interests line. I want to see 3 to 5 hobbies or passions, things you like to do outside of work, things that make you unique. And make sure to be specific. So don't just tell me that you love travel. Tell me that you traveled to Barcelona last summer and it was a blast. So be specific. This line is one of the only lines that humanizes you and it makes you stand out from other candidates. So there you have it, some resume tips to stand out in your applications for these early recruiting programs. And so again, we highly recommend that if you are eligible and able to apply for any of these programs, do it. Give yourself the upper hand in this competitive consulting recruiting landscape. Make sure that your resume and cover letter are highlighting your transferable skills and ability to drive impact by working with our expert editing team on a custom resume and cover letter edit. There's a link in the show notes to learn more and to purchase today. We conduct 2 rounds of in-depth detailed edits. We go line by line, making sure that your resume and cover letter are ready for these applications and that consulting firms won't be able to say no to your profile. Again, there's a link in the show notes to work with us. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to let us know by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We appreciate you listening along to Strategy Simplified. We'll catch you again next week.